Good afternoon, everyone. It's the 11th of May, and welcome to Round 7 of the 2019 Newstead Brewing Hospital Challenge Cup. This afternoon, we are live from Crosby Park, the home of Brothers Rugby Club, for their clash with traditional rivals, the University of Queensland. Brothers have started their season in perfect fashion, going unbeaten thus far, while the students have won 3 of their 6 matches, including a 30-point win over Sunnybank last weekend. As always, Queensland Rugby, with its increased live coverage of Premier Rugby, has all 4 matches streamed live and free by redsrugby.com.au. My name is Martin Lippiett, and joining me in the commentary box today is Brothers clubman and Colts coach Ben Traves and former UQ and Island prop Tom Court. Gentlemen, welcome.
Afternoon, Marty.
All right, we're going to get straight to this. The conditions are on point. Cool conditions, clear skies. And when we talk about things being on point, Ben, Brothers have just been that. You must be pretty pleased with the progress so far.
Yeah, look, we're very happy. The club is absolutely humming. The butchery's in full force down the southern end there this afternoon. But Coach Rob Saib, he'll be looking for an 80-minute effort today. The boys have been winning the games, as you suggested. They haven't been probably putting the teams away that they'd like. Missing some of their headline acts today, so it grants some club stalwarts some opportunity, so it'll be exciting to watch.
And with a 50-50 split for wins and losses this season, Tom, what have you made of UQ's performance so far?
It's been fairly stuttering and probably hit and miss. I think, especially recently, it's been fairly unimpressive, some of the defensive performances, and obviously bounced back last week with a, I guess, a confidence-building win, but there's definitely a lot of unfulfilled potential there that I think, hopefully leading in from last week, we can get a bit of momentum.
And I want to get both of your opinions on this. Obviously, Brothers, most of these won't be Ben. UQ's got a few players that are in the mix with the national under-20 side over the last 2 or 3 weeks, but the impact of not having Wilson, Wood, McWright in the fray, you would think huge problem, because it has been in previous years. That's why we haven't seen Brothers up the top, but not the case this season.
No, look, they're very important people and obviously sensational players, and what they give us is a lot of front foot ball to unleash an outstanding backline. So the emphasis today for Brothers will be to those club stalwarts that have come into that back row. It's a pretty inexperienced back row today, to get front foot ball, win that ruck contest, quick ruck speed, and unleash that backline, because when they have some time and space, they're pretty good to watch.
And we talk about important players, Tom. This season so far, how important are players like James Dalglish been? And I want to say Pat Morrow, but I did find out he's got a bit of a torn bum muscle, so he's not playing today. And him and Tim Manns, there's another old head that are out of the fray. So what kind of responsibility is sitting on James Dalglish's shoulders?
Well, huge. Obviously, Pat misses out with, we'll call it a gluteus med muscle rather than a bum muscle. But anyway, it'll make a big difference, because Pat is obviously a leader in the pack as well. So, there's going to be a few other guys that need to step up and be a bit more vocal. But, Jimmy is always cool head and sort of leads from the front with how he sort of plays the game and injects himself. So hopefully he can just keep everyone else that sort of, I guess, youth with experience. There's a lot of younger guys and inexperienced guys that are sort of in that team. So hopefully guys like that and other people like Adam Korsich, who can just keep everyone sort of calm and hopefully just keep ticking over for the full 80.
Well, I'm going to stick with you, Tom. How have you managed to stay in the 4? Because it's been a literal 50-50 season. You could flip a coin on this one. And I have to say, this is the first time in recent memory that I can remember UQ having, this much of a slow start, let alone being actually negative for the 4s and against. So it's not the start that we're used to for the Red Heavies.
I think let's be honest, we're lucky to still be in the top 4. I think obviously the performances we put out, nobody's happy with them at all, even the winning performances. So they sort of hung in there. I think last year was a little bit slow, but then we started really picking up momentum towards the end of the first round. Whereas this year it's sort of been stuttery and haven't quite hit our stride yet. So hopefully with a bit of consistency with players and boys really realising that they need to inject a bit of mongrel into the defence and stuff, otherwise they're not going to be in the team the following week. Hopefully that can sort of keep that momentum from last week, like I said, and finish off strong with 2 very strong opponents, obviously Brothers this week and Jeeps next week.
Well, the big question is, UQ haven't won a game away from home yet. Do you think today's going to be the day?
I'm going to say I hope so. It's going to be a tough challenge, but it's definitely possible. After Fraser's pre-match team talk with Sauce during the week, I'm hoping the boys have been watching that and get G'd up.
And Ben, I've got to highlight this. Obviously 5-0 for the Brethren. Impressively have only used 34 players this season. So obviously this has only been the 6th round for them, because they've already had their bye. 34 players in the 6th round. That's a lot of consistency. that's a pretty strong figure in itself.
Yeah, and everyone's bought in, which is great. But the reserve grade, I think we've just seen a result there where Brothers have put sort of 50 on UQ. So the depth around the club is outstanding. Third grade again have put on a nice, call it a cricket score today. So look, people are getting their opportunities and they're taking them, which just makes those, even those 20 blokes coming back, which they will do towards the back end of the year. It really puts Rod Saib and Schultze and Kalevi under enormous pressure to make the right calls regarding selection.
And we're going to get straight in to the players to watch here, gentlemen, and we are going to start with... we're going to go straight into the team list. Let's run through the Brothers side. Ben, take it away.
Cool. At loose head prop is our skipper, Tom Maloney, joined in the front row with Matty Fezler and Gareth Ryan. Missing enforcer, Ryan Smith today. So the lock pairing will be Alex Perez and Brad Kappa. The inexperienced front row, as I mentioned, missing those Australian 20 players, Henry Fitzgerald, Noah Nielsen, and Reece Martin gets his opportunity to return to the Premier Grade paddock today, a well-earned opportunity at that. Potentially, or arguably, the form 9-10 of the competition, Reuben Wall and Rowan Safaloy. Young gun, Byron Ralston on one wing and George Partridge on the other. Paddy James, the old firm, at 12, and Chris Hemsworth, lookalike Seb Wildman at outside centre, and the crafty Lawson Crichton. Under a bit of an injury cloud, but will take his spot at 15.
Oh, that's a bit of a compliment there for Seb Wildman. Maybe he's happy, but I don't think he'll have as much money as Chris Hemsworth. And Cordy, take us through this list of heavies coming out to Crosby to run on the field today.
So we've got Pat Fapulio back into the front row this week. Should bring a good bit of experience and physicality back in. Tommy Mellor's done well the last few weeks, being back in the fray. Chris Nielsen, we've got the steer tackler in there from Townsville. Obviously, Dom Power had a great game last week and has brought a good bit of mongrel back into the forward pack. Benny Paxton Hall is back in with an opportunity. Fergus, Kiwi, Adam Korsich and Sam Wallace make up the back row. Should hopefully inject a bit more physicality once again. There's a bit of a theme here. Jos Van Eden there with Jimmy Dalglish in the halves. Will Morley has shown a good bit of form and come up from the reserve grade. TJ is obviously the resident steamroller in the centres there, with young guy Josh Hill outside him, hopefully showing a good bit of form again. And then we finish it off with Sammy Dalglish, Jimmy's brother, and Cliffy at fullback.
So a few returning names here for the Red Heavies and successful campaigns in years past, but also a lot of new names and faces in this Red Heavy side. The ball now starts with the captain, James Dalglish, in the middle.
While we're waiting for the kickoff, don't forget that junior raffle. Pick up your tickets for our junior touch team going to Harvey Bay in July.
And we are away. Round 7 of the 2019 Newstead Brewing Hospital Challenge Cup. It's our match of the round. Brothers hosting UQ. It's a stellar battle. First place Brothers against fourth place UQ. It's been a massive day for the brethren here. A lot of wins across the board. I want to see if they can get the jewel in the crown. Wall from the back, sends it to the right. James fires it once more out. There's Kappa. Kappa breaks through one. He's taken down by Morley in the blue headgear on the left wing. Now Brothers working it out of their half. Safaloy sends it downtown.
What a gorgeous kick by Rowan Safaloy there. That has pinned them down the 5 metre. Pressure on their set piece early.
Uni will be looking just to try and secure a nice clean exit here. Obviously you don't want to get trapped down in our own half this early.
First line out, Tom Court, Tom Miller, In his 4th start, he's scored 2 tries so far this season. He'll throw it in. Quickly he does to the back. It's a bit of a loose take there from Paxton Hall, but the students have come out with the ball. Dalgleish from the pocket, kicks for exit. Now Brothers, a fantastic attacking opportunity inside UQ's 22.
And enormous pressure on that kick too. They sort of only peeled off sort of 10-15 metres. Brothers up for this early. It's good signs with their attitude here.
They go to the middle. It's taken well by Perez. Now in. Oh, he juggles, just holds on. Advantage.
2 red offside.
Tom Mellor offside. Wall.
Revenge. 2 offside.
Jordan Way, our match referee, out in the middle today. And Captain Tom Maloney, former Rebels and Panasonic Wild Knights. He is a pathway player, says let's take the 3 points, and they give it to Rowan Saifaloy to go for the points. And Ben, there was a bit of interesting there. I thought maybe one of them preferred kicking from one side, but we saw him and Lawson Crichton last week kick with alternating kicks, but Crichton's has a bit of an injury at the moment.
Yeah, and it's a groin, so I don't think you'll see him doing too much kicking today for goal, certainly. So I think Rowan's got the tee today.
Well, Saib, you said before the game, it's a good problem to have when you have more than one kicker.
Yeah, they've got a couple of sharpshooters, so and they have been scoring a fair bit of points, so they've had a bit of practice. But Rowan, it's in safe hands with Rowan.
And I think going back to that exit that Uni had as well, with so much pressure on the kick, they're going to need to look for trying to put a bit more of a screen in, or at least once again having a second option at kicker. With that much pressure coming down on him, he's never going to be able to get a clean kick away.
Yeah, they didn't really look after him there, did they? The Uni forwards. He's going to put this into the corporate tents. Brothers got a little corporate event happening today, so they're pretty well. It's pretty busy down the end there.
I'm sure we'll get quite vocal.
It will, yeah. That's called
He
running
strikes
with the breeze in the second half.
And he gets it. Rowan Saifaloy, it's his 5th start today. He's gotten 1 try this season, and that'll make his 10th conversion so far, only 7 rounds in, with a bye. Take it back to the middle. So Brothers in the lead, 3 points to 0 here in the 5th minute of play. Dalgleish goes high and short. Kappa's underneath. Gets hit hard. Defensive line. Saifaloy sends it out. Students' defence. Keeping Brothers inside their own 22. Now Saifaloy kicking for the exit. And a wobbly catch there from Will Morley will work out fine, and in the middle, Dalgleish, one of the Dalgleishes, takes that hit up, wasn't clean. There's a good run from Power.
It's a great name for a rugby player.
Dom Power gives it. Now Korchik, dawning headgear. There's Paxton Hall.
Ball's available.
And Eden goes back to the right-hand side, finds Chris Beef Train Nielsen. Now advantage for the students. Here's for Pulio. Quick 1-2 out to Hill, who gets his legs taken out from underneath him. Van Eden goes himself, gets checked hard by Wildman. The students still with advantage. Round the corner, they keep it moving well through Hill. One more pass wide to Dalgleish. And Eden centers in. There's Sia Cassini, former breaker from the Gold Coast. Dalgleish fires across, quick hands, finds Mello, one more. It's Paxton Hall with the ball in hand. And Eden looks to the left, Dalgleish darts back towards traffic, looks for the offload, wasn't there. Then Eden to the left, it's a fen from Lillicrap. Lillicrap's going! He's still short 5 metres. To the right, Mellor, 2 tries already this season.
No! Let it come.
Now to the right. Nielsen. Uni. Edging closer.
Yeah, he's pinned him there.
You're in offside position.
Clever from the halfback. Wonderful recycling of the ball by Uni. It wasn't counting, but 15, 20 phases there, putting the Brothers' defence under immense pressure.
Yeah, they've definitely turned up to try and play today at least. The attitude looks great. Hopefully they can try and finish off with at least some points down deep in this half.
Well, it's wonderful conditions out here today, gentlemen. The southerly came through last night. I think most of Brisbane would have felt it. People can call it sooks, but it definitely got a bit cooler. It's beautiful conditions out here today. Clear skies, perfect for some Saturday afternoon rugby.
And Crosby Road doesn't get any better.
I miss the fig trees.
That might be biased. I do too, yeah. Wasn't our decision.
Mother Nature. Here we go. Uni now setting up the driving ball. Mellor at the back, but Brothers have burrowed through. They're putting a lot of pressure on. It spits out. Van Eden gets it. Quick pick up from Sia Cassini. Round the corner. Here's Korchik. They keep moving. For Pulii. Extends out. And he gets there. The veteran, Pat Fapulii, roundthecorner.com, gets the first try of the match. University respond, now in the lead, 5 points to 3.
And just wonderful ball retention from Uni, as I said, putting immense pressure on Brothers there. He's got the right to place that ball in any direction, and he places it forward on the try line. And really well earned. Brothers equally have defended well there, but sometimes the attack's just better than the defence. A couple of high tackles potentially where the boys need to be potentially getting a bit lower out on those fringes, and Uni's capitalised.
Cordy, must make you feel good seeing a fellow front row getting across the first try of the game.
Oh, it's always nice. You know, the big guys tend to get a bit of white line fever when we get close, but we get a nice quick ball there from Yoss at the back of the ruck, so it's always a great opportunity for the tidies.
Hey, front rowers usually pay big money for first try matches, so... And now Dalglish.
Did anyone have that? That was...
Strikes it.
Hundreds.
Strikes it, and now University in the lead, 7 points to 3 here in the 9th minute of play. Our match of the round between Brothers and UQ. Brothers, the informed team of the competition.
Yeah, when you're ready.
There's the restart from Safaloy. Drops it right on the 22, right down the throat of Sam Wallace. Sam Wallace gotten 3 tries so far this season. His breakout year was in 2018.
That's on 10.
Iron short.
Advantage, 9 red offside.
And that goes against Jos Van Eden. Now a penalty.
Just on Wallace there as someone from Brothers who obviously only get to see him twice a year, or the other games that we watch, he just seems to own up every year. I'm sure there's higher honours awaiting him in the near future.
Yeah, he had a good tail of the NRC season last year and really showed through with a good bit of form, so hopefully he can kick on. He's obviously a lot younger than what he looks. He's got massive boulders tacked on his shoulders as well, so he's nice big size on him to keep trucking it up.
Now Brothers shying away from the easy 3. They're going to hunt for 5, if not 7.
Yeah, I thought when Tom Maloney took that early penalty goal, I was thinking it's going to be a really high scorer today, so I'm not sure we'll see too many more cracks at the throw.
You would hope the University are ready for a maul.
Fezler.
Geez, they're getting stuck into him here.
Scuttles into position, fires it up. Kappa takes it, but it's facing the wrong way.
The hooker has been psyched out there. It's a great chat from University putting him off.
But here he is now going round the corner. Great momentum. Brothers attacking. Wall at the back. Plays to the right and left. Sends it out. Uni's defence scrambling. They're working in around the breakdown. Wall fires out once. There's the captain, Maloney.
Leave now, leave! Leave it now, off your feet.
Jordan Way, the referee, in the thick of it. Wall looks to go himself. He's just short. Brothers picking and driving, but getting denied on the line. They're navigating towards that post.
Advantage, 7 red offside.
Adam Korchik offside, darting back is James, and he's in! Patrick James cutting back on the line, finds a gap in the Red Heavies' defence, and Brothers retake the lead, 8 points to 7.
Yeah, giving them some of their own medicine there with a pick and go, which uni usually default to that Heavies call, but wonderful inside work there from Paddy Stixie James. He's never too far away from the try-scoring list.
Making the most of a 16th man there with the post in the way. Obviously players still trying to get up and around, and he's used nice footwork to get in there under the posts.
Now Cy Floyd out in front, 1 from 1 today. Great try there by Patrick James, the Nudgee College 2012 graduate. He's played all 6 matches so far for Brothers, and he's now got 4 tries for the season.
Yeah, that's been a big thing with universities, trying to get that continuity in defence this year. Obviously, there's been a few games where it hasn't really gone to plan, so it's just trying to get those guys around the corner and get them lined up early.
Savoy strikes, and it's good. Brothers extend the lead now, 10 points to 7 here in the first half of our round number 7. Match of the round. And here's that replay there. James, great footwork. Left Don Power standing still as he ran around him.
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes down to just attitude and work rate.
Dalglish, high and short, knocked forward, but it's been cleaned up. I think the player might have been...
Contact is in the air.
Contact in the air.
It's always a benefit of getting off the ground to take a kick, regardless of whether you got a lifter or not.
Well, that'd be one for both of you, gents. When you look at the game now, especially we saw last night with Samu Karevi getting the yellow card, when it comes to the aerial battle, there's it's a pretty interesting game, isn't it? Because sometimes it'll go as you think, and sometimes it'll go completely the other way.
Yeah, and I think the one last night, Samu, they deemed, or Angus Gardner deemed, that he wasn't in a realistic position. So, as a one-eyed Red supporter, I might have disagreed with that. But look, you can see, and obviously the safety of the player is paramount. Just on the breeze here today, it's very swirly. It's sort of favouring that back right, top right-hand corner of the screen. It's heading in that direction, but it is really swirly. Any aerial play from either side today is going to put back 3 under big pressure.
And there's Wallace hammering through. Van Eden to the right. Dalglish sends it out once more. Good run from Paxton Hall. 2019 Reds Academy. Van Eden looks to the right. Here's Sedu. Ooh, wears a seatbelt over the top, but shrugs it off. Good thing he's not too tall. Otherwise, that one could have really hurt.
That's fine, it's a more.
And there's a dog on the field.
Might be looking for something more. Oh no, he's just blowing time off. I thought he was going to go to the pocket there. Byron Ralston getting up around the head. But it's just the dog. Happy days.
If that doesn't sum up club footy on a Saturday, I don't know what does.
That's a new one for Jordan Way, I'm sure. The ref, I'm not sure he's had that before. He's been reffing in some pretty high games.
Yeah, Clifton Sefu there. He's a slippery character at the best of times, and even though you might say that he ducked into it a little bit, I guess these days you just can't take any chances with the high stuff.
Well, it's like the aerial contest we were saying just before, Marty.
It's all about player safety, though.
Absolutely, yeah. It's
at the one extreme end, and just means a lot of stuff falls under the umbrella.
As long as they're consistent, we're all happy.
Mellor sends it up. Ooh, loose.
Lovely throw and a terrible delivery off the top of the line out.
Now Dalglish takes it to the line himself, and Eden goes to the left.
Wonderful hit from Seb Wildman there.
They keep moving. The students in possession. Great continuity, great movement. Here's Sedu on the left-hand side of the field. Van Eden not happy with how slow the ball's taken to get out. The props working 1-2. Nielsen to Fapulii there. Lillicrap takes that one rather flat-footed. They settle it down. Dalglish looking for the plate. Sia Cassini spinning and driving. The one-man meat train, and the ball ripped away from him, and a penalty given away by the brothers 5 metres out.
Yeah, Seb Wyman, knees clearly on the ground there from Uni, and he's just overplayed his hand there. Jordan Wade, clear instruction of releasing.
Down here against you held on to the ball too long. That penalty there. That one? Yes, he's now held on to the ball and thrown it away, okay? If it's a penalty against you, leave the ball on the ground, okay? Yeah.
I think that's another really important part, isn't it, with the modern day game? It's the communication between both captains and the referee.
Yeah, and you've got like someone like Geordie Way or Damon Murphy, who's been around this scene and now obviously got his chance in Super Rugby. Very good communicators as well. So
Nick Berry, another one.
Nick Berry, another one. Plenty of good refs getting around.
Congratulations, Nick Berry too. Rugby World Cup.
Yep, absolutely.
Homegrown talent.
Yeah, alongside Angus Gardner. So, really good communicators. So in that instance there, Tom Maloney just needs to tell the boys to be a bit smarter because that was, really clear.
Douglas strikes, and he gets it. UQ retake draw it up, I beg your pardon, 10 points all. Since opening their doors in 2003, the team at Ray White Ascot have become the specialist of Brisbane's inner north real estate. Community involvement is a big part of their work, which includes the support of the Brothers Rugby Club.
Just leave it. Just leave it when it goes away from you. Fair enough, mate.
And the restart. Taken well by Wallace. Funnels it back to James Dalgleish, who can't make the exit. Now, the counter. Pirouetting was Crichton. Wall from the back. Saifaloy gets charged down. He's got to regather that one from behind. Korchik is in pursuit, but Wallace sandwiches him to the floor. Wall uses his forwards in the middle to better position the team. Throws the box hit. Korchik gets his second charge down. Charging onto it. He's got James, but he's given away a penalty there.
Jeez, that's unlucky. Those 1%ers of those charge downs and effort from Uni are outstanding at the moment.
The energy there shown by Kiwi Adam Korsic has been impressive already. Just unfortunate with that final penalty call in goal.
Yeah, okay.
What are the odds? When have you seen one player get two consecutive charge downs in less than 60 seconds?
And then he made the tackle. I mean, it's all just effort, isn't it? He obviously slipped up a bit high and got Paddy in an awkward position. But
you know what I think it is? That wonderfully terrible mustache that he is.
It is terrible.
And if that's it, I'll get one on my top lip. Yeah.
He might have 40 kilos on it too. And the ball's been lost forward by Brothers. Knock on advantage going to the students. Van Eden takes that one back into contact. The maul has been called.
That's fine. No advantage for knock on the line out.
And here we go, gents. First scrum of the day. It's taken the better part of 20 minutes for us to get here, but I'm going to throw it to you, Cordy. What's the feel here? We've seen a few changes in this UQ forward pack compared to the Brothers pack, which has stayed relatively stable over the beginning of the season.
Yeah, it has been quite a few changes. Obviously, the 20s guys were into the start of the season, and they've sort of been out for a little while. Obviously, these guys had a game last week. Pat is a very experienced guy at loose head. Tommy has been doing a great job at hooker. You'd hope that they can try and lay a marker down early. That's definitely what we've been talking about during the week. So that's the plan anyway, against a fairly polished Brothers pack.
Well, the front rows, by comparison on the other side, former Rebel and Wild Knight, Maloney, the captain, Fezler, former Australian under-20. Gareth Ryan is no slouch either, but the penalty going against Brothers there, not going in straight quarter.
Yeah, I mean, the natural movement there, obviously a tight head goes into the gap, so he's sort of, as soon as he turns in, everybody starts going in with him. The loose head's on the outside, so it's hard to stay straight when a tight head's heading in, but saying that, 95% of loose heads tend to try and walk around and get that angle up on the left side, so sort of natural momentum that way. You really have to try and work hard to go against the natural flow.
Mella fires to the back. Korchik takes it clean. Driving maul is on the menu. Brothers counter mauling brilliantly. Balls at the back. Van Eden can't wait. Gives it to Sia Cassini. Sia Cassini goes around two. Number 3 gets him.
Wonderful steal by Noah Nielsen in the 7 jersey today, normally occupied by Fraser McWright, but I think he's pinned him for not releasing after the turnover.
Quick start from Van Eden. He ducks through the traffic. Van Eden goes through. Van Eden for 5. Under the sticks. Jos Van Eden.
That just shows that sometimes you just have to take the call and just get back quickly. Caught him napping there and with a quick tap and darted through. Probably unlucky for Brothers.
He hasn't held on to it.
And we can dial back. We saw there Patrick James in that last breakdown, gents. He had a good crack, but then got knocked off the ball. We saw Jordan Way say, first attempt done. So I think the ping came after the fact that they missed the first opportunity. And then great vision from Jos Van Eden here to quickly rally around. Van Eden, it's his 6th start. He's played nearly all but one game this season. Picks up his first try. What a great story. Is formerly from South Africa and made the move over from West to come over here and reaping results.
Yeah, it's all about opportunity, isn't it? I don't know too much about young Jos Van Eden, but he's really capitalised there, as Cordy was saying, on Brothers maybe trying to argue the point with Jordan Way there. Just get back to 10 and get your eyes up would be my advice.
And the conversion was successful there. Dalglish, his 22nd conversion of the season so far. A man who's always up in the leading point scorers of recent memory. Looks like he's getting his numbers back up a little bit.
Just over 20 minutes in too. What a cracking game so far.
Saifaloy drops it just inside the 22, fielded well by one Dalglish, who gives it to the other. Now they kick it out. And it's a team of brothers here today. We've got both Mellors, both Dalglishes.
Yep.
Fun times for us commentators. Keeping it easy.
Yeah, we've got... it makes it easy, doesn't it? Learn the names.
DJ Sia Cassini throwing heavy chat there in the train tracks at Matt Fesler.
Decided to go to the front, finally with the line out. The line out wasn't looking too great previous ones, so gone for a banker.
Advantage to Brothers there. Now they work it up the right-hand side. This is looking good. The no-look pass keeps moving, and that's a great try. Brothers getting across on the right-hand side of the field.
Yeah, sort of. I think it looked like 2-on-2 in the 15 channel there. Lawson Crichton bouncing overs and just getting his shoulders through and putting George Partridge in the corner. That's what Crichton's capable of. As I said, under an injury cloud, but he didn't look to be moving too badly there.
Yeah, a lot of that just comes down to making your tackles. There's an easy slip-off tackle there. Another one, easy palm-off. Little offload, and he's in the corner. It's been probably a story of uni a lot of this season so far. Just make your tackles.
So now a big kick opportunity coming here from the right-hand side. Saifaloy has got a good track record this season. Total of 11 conversions over. He's hunting for his 12th.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm going to have a chat to him as well.
Saifaloy looking for 2. And you won't find it between some of the tallest uprights going around the Queensland Premier Rugby competition. So it's Brothers narrowly behind, 15 points to 17 here in the 25th minute of play. And we're going to bring it back to the middle for a James Dalglish restart. Dalglish goes high and short.
Backwards off white.
Backwards off white's the call, but Wallace scuttles through and picks it up. Now Uni back in the attacking stance. Korchik weaves through traffic. Van Eden, Dalglish, Sia Cassini goes under.
Always good for 5 or 6 metres there, TJ.
There's power former Q Cup Rugby League player. And that was Messi. Now for Pouliot. He's got one, and the ball has been stripped away. And it's come back. Sia Cassini. They get him low. Bradford Kappa offside. Penalty advantage. Dalglish looks wide. Mellor sees some daylight. They keep swinging it to the left. Sedu gets wrapped up low. They've learnt their lesson this time, but they're going to bring it back.
5. Offside.
I would imagine Uni want to play here.
I think I can hear the butchery getting stuck into Jordan Way about that kickoff. I might be one-eyed, but I think that might have been a knock-on from UQ.
Are you one red eye and one brother's eye today, Ben? That's 2 eyes.
I'm not going to comment on that one.
I'll have a chat with Geordie at half-time over that one.
Now, gents. Come on.
I'm not getting into a fight with Cordy, that's for sure.
Hey, I'm not great at giving a punch, but I can take a beating. So.
Mate, we did see the grand final last year.
A very bad beating.
Yeah. Just moral discipline here in the 22 from Brothers. I think it was Brad Kappa on that occasion just getting up off the line a bit early, and Jordan Way pinned him for it. That's the butchery that we've referenced a couple of times today, so that'll get a bit more wild come the second half.
And that's where the trees, the fig trees used to be. And
yeah, so one day it just literally all came tumbling down after a massive storm. We had to get rid of the rest of it, so a bit of a shame because it was quite iconic.
And there's Dalglish getting the extras, and it comes through. While we've got a second here, let's have a look. Let's talk about the major sponsor for UQ. Founded in 1990, Buildcorp is an industry leader in construction refurbishments, building upgrades and much more. They've been a huge supporter of the broader rugby community, and especially UQ Rugby. Buildcorp, we're with you. And the restart from Cypheloy. Carbon copy. We'll find James Dalglish this time, who thumps it downtown once again. Can't find exit. Nearly identical. And here comes the counter from Brothers.
Every kickoff from Brothers going long and left, so they're actually looking for that set piece, but Dalglish has missed it a couple of times off his right boot.
Cypheloy now. Wall to the right, finds James. They pass it out. The danger man, Partridge, who's gotten across for one already today. And the ball has been stolen. Van Eden sees something out the back. Puts a very tidy box kick in. Van Eden, acrobatics to the max on that side. Keeps the ball in now. Sedu jostles and jives his way through. Dalglish punches in, looking for territory. And it's a good run from Crichton, who eventually comes down. Wall. It's a very firm competition here between both sides. Now James out the back.
No, he's not gone.
Advantage for the knock-on only, wrapped up. Partridge. He's getting harassed by Korchik. And just quickly while we've got you here, Ben, we've got a second. Reece Martin, is this his first start for the Brethren?
I should know that, but I don't know if it is his first start
for this season.
It is for this season, definitely. He's had a terrible amount of injury problems on his one of his knees. I think his right knee. I think he did his ACL, his MCL, and every other CL you can do.
Well, I've done the MCL and the ACL, and I know that's 12 months.
You're back next week, aren't you? But no,
I've been saying that since 2011.
It's a credit to him, mate. He's a hard worker, great club man. One of his best mates, Noah Nielsen's in the 7 jersey today. So Lawson Crichton down here, I did say he was under an injury career, but I think this might be more related to a HIA as opposed to a groin injury. Looks like he's got the all clear.
10.
Lawson Crichton, one of 3 Padua graduates in the team, along with Gareth Ryan and Alexander Perez. Bit of a tie there between Brothers and Padua.
Yeah, there has been Michael Wood, under 20s player as well, also from Padua.
What an amazing tournament he had for
Yeah,
the
I mean,
Oceania over the last couple of weeks. It was a real pleasure getting to call him. His line-out stealing in that final against the Baby Blacks was just
he's as tough as they come. Yeah, so but we've got him, Harry Wilson, and Fraser McWright down here today.
Harry Wilson, the man can clap in a person's face.
He can, yeah. If I can clap, he's a Raiders supporter. Yeah, I think Jordan Way actually had him that day, and he might have got on his nerves a bit. But yeah, I mean, what a game last weekend. And the boys jet off to, I think, Sydney on Saturday next week to get into camp before they fly to Argentina for the World Cup.
Now, James moves it quickly up the middle. Quick pass to Wall. Seifaloy keeps the momentum going. They're looking down on the left-hand side. There's Crichton. Clear to play. But we're going to bring it back.
Yeah, so we saw the same thing in the scrum there again as the one before, but obviously different team had the feed, so different team gets the penalty. But both sides on the open, they're folding in. And
Cordy, I've got to ask, obviously, in more recent times, the scrum has really changed a lot in the the initial mechanics and how it gets there.
Don't tell me that.
Do you find that it's a lot more of a subtle arm wrestle these days as opposed to the old days?
Yeah, definitely. It I guess 10, 15 years ago, where you could sort of bind up and get a bit of a jog and a run up before you engage, but these days there's a lot more little technicalities which, to be honest, you can actually and need to implement to be able to get the upper hand. It's obviously there's not as much of a gap, there's not as much of engagement, everything's a lot more controlled, so you really need to be starting off in a much better position than maybe you used to have to. Yeah, these days it's definitely nowhere near as much movement, and you definitely don't see the dominance in scrums you used to. But
now Brothers on the charge. Wall fires it out. Seifaloy, James, they keep moving. Round the corner. Great work, Crichton.
They might be in trouble there.
That was...
Oh, is that it go? I think an easy hand off there to Byron Ralston. He's in the corner.
Now, we'll get a replay of that one later. Brothers attacking. Uni, they're trying to turn it over.
Number 2 going straight off your feet.
That's Tom Mellor.
you see that a lot where guys get a dominant clean and they really drive through, but then they fall over the ball there, which means it's going to be an instant penalty for the opposition.
Really bold here. Maloney's hunting for more than 3. He'll kick it for the corner with line out to come.
And normally you would hope the defensive team here to be down on one knee.
And let's see this replay here. Coming around the corner. Ooh. We talk about he's one of the smallest guys on the field, but both him and Wyatt, who's not playing this year, just pound for pound, strong, tough players.
I think players are happy this year Wyatt's not there to take man of the match every week.
There's only so much protein one man can win at the end of each match.
Yeah, well, it's like Fraser McWright here. Someone else needs to win the protein.
And now the driving maul from Brothers. Wall.
Decent set.
Oh, and the big arms of Paxton Hall are reaching over and through. Paxton Hall, he's got hands to the man. But a penalty advantage has gone against UQ Brothers. Massive opportunity. Seifaloy tries to get around Wallace, but gets wrapped up. They go to the right. There's the fen from Wildman. Loose ball.
That's forward.
I detect that was a bit tactical. Throw it forward. You know you've got the advantage. Bring it back and start again.
That's what I'm sure Crichton will put in the post-game notes.
But he can't then collapse it when he's on him.
Okay.
So he's got to be on him holding
So Benny Paxton Hall has actually come through the middle legally, but then he's just pulled it straight down. So
yeah, I thought he did a really good job there, Paxton Hall.
The unfortunate body weight and tripping over your own feet wasn't good enough an excuse this time. So we'll see how the dynamics go this side. Obviously, different side of the field. The last thing you'll want as a Brothers team is to be getting your loose head up and in. Realistically, you want your tight head up, wheeling into the open field so you can play off the back and hopefully get one of your backs hitting a nice hard line.
Paxton Hall fighting tooth and nail into that one. But
nothing better than here, covered in blood.
Chris Nielsen He's a bit of a blue stake at the moment. And they'll have to patch up. Well, what is it near? I'm sure you could. I feel he's probably verbalised his pain better than anyone, Cordy, when it comes to the ear mash.
It's sort of the sense of achievement as an opposition prop when you can make a good gush of blood come out of the opposition guy's ear. I think a good bit of cauliflower ear where it's just turned into a block of cartilage. It doesn't take much to sort of crack it open and get a bit of a trickle going.
Actually, probably okay with that Clifton Sedu tackle. Actually, gets his Lawson Crichton falls into the contact, and I think Clifton has his arms up there.
And I guess the one thing we've got to remember is our referees here, most of the time we do live streaming now, they don't get our replays. They don't get to see the stuff that we get to see.
We've had 3 cracks at it. And
I know, we're still, maybe, It's a great crowd out here at Brothers. As always, they put on a fantastic show in Queensland. Rugby. Special thanks to the Hospital Challenge Cup naming rights partners, the Newstead Brewing Co., for their support of grassroots rugby in Queensland.
Just quickly, I tried a new sour beer from Newstead last weekend. It is outstanding. Already sold out, but what a shame.
A big shunt here from Brothers early on. They're looking to try and keep it in if possible.
They've got forward momentum. Jordan Way's given the advantage. Wall's had enough. Wall goes himself, but Korchik reads it well. Brothers with amazing field position and the penalty advantage.
Feel like we spent a lot of the game down here. UQ's 22 to the try line.
And they're grinding. Now, Brothers go to the right-hand side. That time it was Maloney. They've still got the advantage. Looking for a good line through. And he's short. Wall goes to the right. Pirouetting around is Wildman. Now, Brothers, they've still got an advantage. I think they've just gotten a new wave of advantage. They're looking for 5. Out the back, James. Polo throws the rock over. It's picked up by Dalglish, but will come back for the penalty advantage.
Yeah, it's...
offside. Okay. Yeah. We need to be last man fair, okay? Yeah. We had a couple early, had a chat. Yeah. Need to have a chat to the boys. We continue to be offside. Someone will be in the bin.
It's just taking that extra foot back behind the ruck, I think.
5 minutes till half time, so UQ will be looking to hold on here. That was excellent intent in their defence there. Great height around those pick and goes. It's a filth versus heavies pick and go contest when they get the 22s here.
It's been a big grind here. And Cordy, are you at all surprised that Maloney's opted to take the scrum?
After the last one, no. It was quite impressive. You know, they stayed straight. They didn't wheel up the loose head. So I'd say this one now we're in the bottom pocket here. They could sort of let natural forces take its course. Loosehead will probably have a real crack at Chris Nielsen here, and unless Uni can really dig in here, I'd say you'll see Brothers Loosehead up with a fairly dominant scrum.
Well, that is the captain, Maloney. He's learned from some of the best coaches in the game, such as Dave Wessels, Robbie Deans. And even though he's still at a young age of 25, he's played all around the world. And he's coming back to where it all began for him at Brothers.
Longer bind from you? Yeah. Okay.
Let's go, Peter, again and again.
So obviously nobody wants to take a backward step. They're trying to take the most they can out of the engagement.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Wall pulls it out. James gets driven into the turf by Dalglish. Wall looks to the left. Good pass. Finds Nielsen, who takes it up 7 metres out. And
you're around his neck. You can't take him
Korchik again gets the turnover. He was on the pill, and Brothers cleaning out, but too high around his neck.
And Adam Korchik, he's having a massive game today. Hasn't featured too heavily for the Queensland Reds so far this season, so it's great to see him down here along with the other Super Rugby players getting involved, and he's had a massive presence on this field today.
He's been outstanding. He's, I think Alex Perez there and Seb Wildman together sort of couldn't move him. They've defaulted to trying to get him around the neck. Yeah, he's been amazing so far.
I always see him as a bit of a cross between Robocop and the Terminator, but he definitely has a work rate going for him.
I like the common ground that both of those fictional characters share in Arnie. Now, UQ up the middle of the field. They hold a narrow lead, 20 points to 15. Time is running out here in the first half. Van Eden takes to the skies.
You need a chase here.
A trio of backs waiting for it.
First touch
Pat
for Young.
for Pouliot wallops Byron Ralston to the floor. Not the matchup you want to see as a winger.
No, I was about to say it was his first touch, and that was a big welcome to the game.
Wall goes back towards the left-hand side. Gives it to Martin. James sells it, but taken well by Sia Cassini. There's a good run from Nielsen. Mellor gets into the fray with the defence. Wall now looks to the left once more.
There's a few tasty contacts coming in here from Uni.
They're slowly grinding their way up the field. There's a scuttling run from Bradford Kappa. Seifaloy sends it out. They keep moving. Great pass, finds Partridge. Partridge offloads well. Brothers moving tremendously down the right-hand side of the field. Seifaloy throws it out the back.
Left.
There's James, gives it. Perez against Mellor, and Sam Dalgleish on his ankles. Now Wall back into the middle, finds the captain Maloney. Once again is Perez. Half-time beckons. And Wall goes one-on-one against Fapulii. Now to the right. Good run, good line, Fezler. They're looking for good lines to get through, and they do. That's a sensational line and a sensational try. Brothers finding 5 points right on the death of the first half, and it goes to Noah Nielsen. Conversion to come.
Yeah, you can't afford to be sitting back on your heels in that defensive line down near your try line. The spaces are too wide. Brothers have done a great job of just hitting into the gaps with a soft shoulder and punching through.
Yeah, just good old-fashioned hard ball running there. Dropped his height and stuck the mid out, and probably gives Brothers the half-time lead if that's Jordan Way calling time.
And Seifaloy will take his time. Successful kick puts his side into the lead going into half-time. Only narrowly though, 22 points to 20 if he gets it. Seifaloy hunting, trying to find another conversion here. And he nails it. And that will be half-time here at Crosby Park. And what a massive first half it has been. We are going to take a short break here. We're going to be back with all of the second half action. Don't go anywhere. And we are back here. It is half-time. Brothers narrowly up 22 points to 20. Thanks for joining us. My name is Martin Lippiett, and joining me here, Ben Travers and Tom Court. Gents, let's look around the grounds. Let's have a look at what you're surprised about and what you think that's about right. And the first thing standing out for me right away is Sunnybank narrowly behind Jeeps, 14 points to 26 over at Old Mac.
Yeah, high-scoring game, absolutely. Probably would have thought that Jeeps might have had that sort of comfortably in hand. The one that stands out for me big time is Norths and East. If that's a half-time score there, Norths are well and truly in that contest.
Well, Cordy, North, they were dubbed the God Killers last week, the Jamie Lannisters, the Kingslayers, after they took down the Heavies up there, and always thought it'd be a tight battle there with Bond narrowly behind West, 12 points to 21 down at Bond University on the Glitter Strip Gold Coast. And now we see all the players coming back onto the field. Really tightly contested first half of rugby there. We saw a lot of rugby being played inside 22s, not too much played in between the 22s.
No, I think both teams have been pretty lax in their defence in the opposition half, and then they let the other team get lots of metres right down, and then they finally switch on in their own 22.
And that man, Ben, there, Rowan Seifaloy, his kicking game has been pretty impressive. It's pretty much been Van Eden and James Dalgleish on one side up against Rowan Seifaloy on the other.
Yeah, and he bloody works very hard at it. He's the man doing extra as always. So, yeah, he's got it on a string, as they say, and looking forward to it. This is an arm wrestle. It's a great game.
A great crowd here at Brothers. As always, the local Northside community, if they're not here, they're going to be at Norths. But always makes for a great Saturday afternoon. And we're away. Second half. Newstead Brewing Hospital Challenge Cup match of the round. It's week 7. And current first place Brothers hosting UQ, who are ranked 4th on the table. And it's 22 points to 20, only 2 points in it after the better part of 41 minutes of play. Well, probably about 43 because we went a little bit into overtime there in the first half.
Yeah, we did. Cordy, do you think there's anything that Mick Heenan would have said to the UQ boys at half-time that they need to sharpen up?
Other than a few expletives, I'm assuming it was probably mainly just working on defence. Attack looks good. When they got ball in hand, they look good. It's just D. They've got to focus in D.
And Brothers win the line out comfortably. James passes on once more. Good line from Wildman. Wildman's through. Wildman puts the step on Dalgleish. Dalgleish comes back for seconds though. Wildman's a short Wall at the back. Wall looks to go himself through the gap and he gets there. Ruben Wall picks up his 3rd try in his 6th start for Brothers. What a great opener for the Brethren.
Yeah, just slicing through there. Cordy, you just mentioned that they need to focus on their defence, and Seb Wildman runs a nice little line. I think Sammy Wallace there shoots out of the line. Seb does a great job to hold his feet here, and it may have got away with one down on the try line here. A little bobble, might have gone backwards, and Ruben Wall gets his height down and puts Brothers on the scoreboard 1 minute into the second half.
Yeah, the old dummy from the scrum half fell for that one a little bit, but yeah, it just comes down to D again. They back down in Uni's half, get to attack straight away off the kickoff, and then I think they might have been man on man there. It was literally just numbers up, make your tackles.
Well, that was it. Josh Hill bought into that dummy, and Ruben Wall just dove in for the space he provided.
The UQ boys will be getting a fair bit of advice from the Brethren down in the back corner right now.
I don't think they can go anywhere in this ground, Ben, without getting advice from some Brethren somewhere.
Maybe near the jumping castle, I don't know.
It's probably just a little bit more PG.
Yeah, it is, yeah. It's much kinder.
Now, Seifaloy. And he gets it. He's 100% strike rate for today. And Brothers extend the lead. 29 points to 20 here.
You can see there with Rowan's kick, still a strong breeze heading to the left of the screen, so back in behind UQ, which they can capitalise on this second half.
And now Brothers field the restart. Now forwards are going to work it on the left-hand side before Wall goes back to the pocket to find his old mate Rowan Saifaloy, who kicks downtown to Clifton Sedu. Sedu sizes his options up as he runs into the setting afternoon sun here, and it's what has been sensational weather conditions for rugby. Dalglish sees a bit of space, goes himself. Van Eden fires out, finds Korchik, thunders over the halfway line. Lillicrap runs a little tall there. Van Eden pirouettes and tries to get an offload happening there. Sia Cassini was waiting. Nice long place back. Finds the beef train. Chris Nielsen. Played for Teachers West and Townsville. Spent a few years playing for the Queensland Country Healers. It's great to see our pathways from rural Queensland making their way down to Premier Grade.
Brothers now, very high in the contact zone here and slipping off a number of front up tackles. And again, wonderful ball retention from UQ.
Oh. And Josh Hill got thumped to the deck there in that contact.
Yeah, so what you want to see, obviously, Brothers score straight after the kick. You want to see a response from Union. They seem like they're up for it, but we've got to try and convert it into points now.
Yeah, the right-hand side here. Josh Hill's up. Josh Hill. Yeah, I was thinking about James Dalglish on the inside, I beg your pardon.
So once again,
boys, are we going to scrummage or are we going to complain with each other? Let's push straight, both of you.
It's Tom Maloney and Chris Nielsen.
Part of the job description as a front row is you need to be a first-class whinger, I think. Be able to have a bit of a nice little chat between scrums with the opposition. Obviously, we want to see a strong response in the scrum as well from Uni here.
Find. Set.
Van Eden puts it in. Scrum doesn't move an inch. Dalglish, Sia Cassini now. Takes a few of them for the ride. Dalglish weaving through traffic, finds his old mate Sia Cassini once more. Van Eden. Van Eden takes it up. Halfback out of action. Now the advantage. Good line from Power. Here's Papulia.
Some ill discipline again here from Brothers in the 22. I think Jordan Way's playing an advantage here.
There's a good run from Sia Cassini, really injecting himself into the play. Body of a front rower playing in the centres.
It's always hard when you play three of a kind. 3 sevens in a back row. They're all going to be wanting to try and get a few jackals.
And there you go, Cordy. That's the first penalty within reasonable striking distance of the goalpost for a penalty, 3 points, that they opt to take the line out and try and find some more.
Yeah, I guess now that they're beyond a converted try, Uni's natural intention is always to play. They're going to want to have a rattle. And this is where a coach wants to see a response.
And then you're reaching through to grab it, okay? Not for me. You're close, but fuck me.
And it's good atmosphere down here at Crosby Park. It's lots of people littered around the venue at the moment. And Ben, the whole place is potentially earmarked for some big developments in the near future.
Yeah, they've got $500,000 already committed to some field developments, and I think they're going through the process now of trying to secure some more grants to develop that clubhouse, which you're seeing behind there. So yeah, there's big things happening down here, sort of subject to potentially the federal election, I believe. So yeah,
sounds like there's a lot of that going around at the moment.
There is, yeah, certainly with the recent announcement regarding Ballymore. So yeah, but this obviously it won't lose its identity in terms of the patronage, but some new state-of-the-art facilities, maybe something likened to a West, I'd suggest.
Would they rename the butchery to the charcuterie or something with the redevelopment?
The cured meatery?
Yeah. Something a little bit more upmarket potentially. as I said, but I don't think it'll lose its identity. I think Safaloy's just got one in the nose here. He's got the butt up the nose and he's changing jersey.
Or maybe he's taking it off just to preserve the pureness of it. He doesn't want to get it too dirty.
Potentially. Might be giving Sauce an opportunity to get a shot here just for next week's cover.
I was going to say, you'd never see a front rower taking his jersey off that quickly, but...
Yeah, they'd be taking it off even quicker, mate. We've all been to club nights. We know front rowers are they're the most festive of the bunch.
I should clarify, when sober.
Quick line out, Korchik leaning back over to get it, but the counter driving maul from Brothers is firm. But here's the forward momentum going from Uni. Mellor's got it at the back. Mellor has no choice but to pop it back out. Van Eden loses it. Now it's picked up. Kappa looking strong, going down with his mate Perez. Wonderful counter from the brethren. Wall into the pocket, finds the now patched up Saifaloy, who kicks downtown, taken by Sedu. Sedu can't escape the defenders.
And that was Safaloy leading the chase after he kicked the ball.
Nielsen feeds Sia Cassini that time. Van Eden's back into the fray, finds Wallace. It's been part of the Premier Grade structure at UQ for the last 3 years. There's a good run from Lillicrap. Now they go to the right. Sia Cassini gets hit well and brought to the ground. UQ being driven back. Van Eden's had enough, puts the box kick over. And he'll give it just a little bit too much.
And going back to that previous maul, obviously Uni set up a decent maul, nice long drive, but the Brothers' defence there, not only was it nice and strong, but Uni just needed to stay straight, and Uni have actually wheeled around, so the guy carrying the ball has gone from right at the back to right at the front, and that's where they got the turnover.
And I think I saw young Byron Ralston getting involved in the maul, which would be his debut for a maul, I'd suggest.
Now, Brothers attacking. James out the back, a loose ball scuttles away. That's good running, and the ball will get scooped up by Van Eden, and it'll be knocked on by Hill.
And I think if you're at home confused, Rowan Safaloy, he's got that blood in the jersey. He's taken off the 10, he's put the 15 jersey on. Sam Hine has replaced Lawson Crichton at fullback for Brothers at half-time. So Crichton, I think it might have been a planned move to come off at half-time and just from injury load perspective. So Sam Hine's at the back for Brothers now, and Safaloy's got the 15 jersey on his back.
We've got some UQ replacements in the front row. Sam Mellor, Tom's brother. They would have played plenty of rugby together. And Torum, he's the young tight end who's been fairly impressive up to date. Going to try and inject a bit of energy back into this scrum.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
That's a good scrum from both sides. Uni pull it out. Sia Cassini sends it out to Sedu with a bit of a hospital pass. It's a great hit from Ralston. Now Uni going backwards inside their own 22. No choice but to kick for exit. And they can't even find that one at the moment. Now, Partridge goes back into traffic. Nice long place from the winger. Here's the captain, Maloney. And now they've got space looking on the right-hand side. Wildman goes and he gets an offload back to Fesler. Now, Brothers moving well on the right-hand side. Some tired bodies out there, still 30 minutes of play to come. It's a wealth of substitutions to still happen. Saifaloy fires it out. They keep moving it well down the left-hand side of the field. Hine, the new substitution there, taking it up. Saifaloy gives it to Martin. Quick 1-2 finds Wildman again.
Just building the pressure here, brothers.
Wall takes it himself.
Warning in the first half for offside. Yeah. Okay. We've gone 15 minutes without anything. Yeah. Okay. Coming from offside, you now back on that warning. Right. Okay. I'll judge the boys and we'll take another step. 17 on that one. Yeah. We'll take that clear cross back.
And a costly penalty puts Brothers right in prime real estate.
Clearing obviously now, boys.
Seifaloy with his bandaged up nose and in front of his captain Tom Maloney with his bandaged up noggin. They're quite the duo.
It's like a crime scene. There's blood everywhere.
Yeah, they're at the butchery.
There'll be a bit more in there, I'll tell you.
So Uni on the defence again, on their own line.
Spent a lot of time inside their own 22 so far. And Brothers are knocking once again on the door.
Normally you'd say try and stay down and hit this defensively, but because you know they're going to try and maul, sometimes you may actually just want to try and throw somebody up, mark the ball, and you might be able to pinch it because the throwing quality on the try line isn't always that great.
And that's a big moment there for UQ. They've staved off the attack. But they're not out of the woods yet. They've got to win a scrum. The question is, Jets, do you see them trying to run it out down the right-hand side, or do they kick for exit? And
I think they've got that breeze behind them, so they probably, there's a long way to go in this game. They just play that territorial game and put Brothers on their back foot and put pressure on their set piece in Brothers' defensive 22. That's how I'll be playing. I think they need to panic and start running the ball out of their 22.
When we talk about traditional rivals, the St George Queensland Reds will meet their traditional rivals, the Waratahs, next Saturday at Suncorp Stadium at 7:45 in a crucial clash for the Reds finals hope. For match day membership and ticketing information, head to redsrugby.com.au.
So for engage, then I'll call it, okay? I don't need you to stand up, okay?
So they're going to try and look and give Jimmy Dalglish a bit of an angle at least to kick this downfield, if that's their option. I can't imagine they're going to be running it from this deep in their own half. Once again, we want to see this tight head up for Uni if they're going to get a nice strong scrum here. All sorts of horrible body positions on this side. A few muffin tops as well.
Now Dalglish with no pressure whatsoever can have a go kicking for the exit.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think he's got Gareth Ryan, the tight head for Brothers there for pre-engaging.
Now we have to talk about the magic moment, 60, 65 minutes when we start seeing usually a flood of subs, or as the modern game goes. What do you think some of the focus points are going to be on both these sides?
Well, I think it's going to come down. I reckon the subs will roll at the 60-65 mark, but Jordan Way must be close to going in the pocket. So I think one team eventually is going to be down to 14 men here, potentially both. I think.
And you feel it could go either way?
It could go either way because I know he's just Jordan Way's just issued James Dalglish a warning for sort of ill discipline under pressure, and Brothers sort of had that same warning in the first half. So it might come down to that.
Now Brothers back in possession, just inside UQ's side of the field.
The way Brothers have been carrying too, getting over the gain line makes it hard for Uni to make dominant tackles and also have a go at the ball.
Oh, and here we go, a great set of passing and a good run from Ralston. He's made the most of everything, but the ball's been lost now. Josh Hill, former England, he's English in heritage, a twin brother Rob, who's a dentist. Josh Hill, bit of trivia. Now James brings it back into the fray.
Young Ralston's got his hands on the ball twice this half and looked dangerous. So Brothers, if they can get him some ball, he's a very good finisher.
Wall goes back to that left-hand side. Good line from Noah Nielsen.
And I think if Uni are going to want to put pressure on the breakdown here, they're going to have to start making some dominant tackles. Soft tackles and soft shoulders means Brothers get over the gain line. They're not going to be able to attack the breakdown.
There's Perez. Perez Finds another 4 or 5 metres. Wall. Saifulloy back to the inside. Good line from Wildman. Wildman's had great touches here in the second half. To the left. Kappa keeps sending it. James throws in the left foot behind traffic. Sam Dalgleish passes it back to Clifton Sedu. Clifton Sedu. He's got nothing but butcher stripes in front of him. He's going to go the long way around. Gets the offload to Sia Cassini. Sia Cassini's got space. But Will Morley.
Geez, he definitely went the long way around. He tracked about 50 metres crossfield and almost created a great opportunity for Uni.
That's the Forrest Gump NFL line, isn't it? Straight across the pitch, right angle.
Need the marching band with the signs to direct traffic. And here he goes. You can just see him working away there. He was trying.
Poor old Gareth Ryan out at the tight end for Brothers is copping a little breather, and then Clifton's made his way out to his part of the pitch.
And I guess one of the interesting one here who's been rising for the Uni side, the number 11, Will Morley. Haven't even seen him this game. Blue headgear and all.
Yeah, he's obviously shown some decent form in reserve grade and been promoted through the last couple of weeks. So sometimes with some of the young guys, it just takes one or two things to give them enough confidence to try and inject himself a bit more. You see him looking for a bit more work maybe in the forwards or trying to get a carry.
And of course, UQ missing Will Eadie for the season, who's ruptured his ACL 3 weeks ago, I believe.
Another Reds Academy player.
Yep, flying ringer.
Hopefully see him back next year. But now it's all about Brothers attacking. Saifulloy goes to the skies behind play. And Sedu will take the mark inside 22, but they knew they had the advantage, so roll the dice and see if some magic could come off.
You can see in the scrum there where Brothers are just, they get the bind and they really put all their weight through the Uni there. So Uni are on their heels and on their back foot before the engagement, which means Brothers then get a dominant engagement. So they're moving forward after the actual ball comes in as well. It's easy enough to try and keep going forward and try and get a penalty.
Opting line out over scrum here, Brothers.
They didn't have much success last time here. They lost the maul.
They're going to almost be looking to try and put somebody in the air here. The throw's not going to be, like I said, the throw's hip height.
Driving maul. It's at the back. Nielsen. He had one today, but it wasn't meant to be for the second. Wall takes his time, finds the captain, Maloney. Brothers grinding their way closer and closer to the line. Now to the right-hand side. Wall! Just short. Penalty advantage for the Brethren.
Could be seeing a card here.
They're going, they're looking. Brothers, they are so close.
Yeah, there you go, Cordy. Patience is worn out for Jordan Way.
Like I said, if you're on the back foot, defending your line, soft tackles, or at least the attacker getting over the gain line, you just can't give away penalties trying to attack the breakdown the ball.
Dom Power leaves the field.
Red 5 substitution.
The question is, what do they do now? Do they scrum?
Well, they're bringing on. I think they might be bringing a substitution on. And
is he coming on or is he not? Yep.
just waiting to see what's going to happen next. But
If I was the Uni forwards coach, I would be screaming at them to hit and go and really attack this scrum, because the last one, if they have the same repeat again, 5 metres out, there's always opportunity for Brothers to keep it in and try and go for the scrum or penalty try.
so Matt McCormick comes to the field for UQ.
Let's go, Red.
A very tense moment here. Brothers, numerical advantage in more ways than one. Losing a player in the tied 5 makes it a taller order for the students. They're going to have to shuffle around to try and match power for power.
You'd also hope they try and line up a bit straighter. You're giving our brothers an offset there with a loose head on the outside infield. Is always going to give them a natural wheel up, and they're going to have an easy ball if they get that loose head side up. Defending this scrum, you'd be wanting to go face to face and trying to battle for the head space. Put the attacking team off their game.
Do you miss it, Tommy?
Does it sound like I miss it?
No, you haven't stopped moving in your seat for the last 30 seconds, so I'm going to say yes.
Twitching.
Wincing. Then there's that side of it.
It's that bittersweet feeling of being in pain while you're scrummaging that you miss.
Earn the burn.
I think they've moved Portugal in the second round, dropped
and
their 8.
Wallace has come over. And it is really nostalgic. We talk about some of the brothers boys that were in that scrum. At the end of the first half there for that junior Wallaby side, down to 7 players, managed to push the Kiwis off their ball with only 7. Huge moment. See if UQ can do the same.
Yeah, they'll be trying to replicate that.
And they're getting picked apart. It's at the back. Martin looks.
Let it come.
He's just short. Wall now. Wall. Wall goes himself, and Wall! He's going to keep going. No one can put a hand on him, and Wall gets his second. The halfback.
That's the 3rd dummy they bought so far down on their try line from him.
He's just doing a great job of getting out, ball in 2 hands, showing them, and just straight through on that occasion. Huge pressure from the scrum, obviously.
Ruben Wall picks up his 4th try. And what a learning experience he would have had last year. He was with the brothers side that won the reserve grade premiership, and let's be honest, most of the 2016 Premier Grade Premiership side was present in that team. The Gendals, the Felsmans, etc., etc. And he's another pathway player, Ben, that's come through. And
he is. Yeah,
he's here now.
He is. You can throw Dallin Murphy into that reserve grade team from last year as well. But and Ruben skippered that team. He's a man. He's the club captain down here at Brothers. He's mature beyond his years. And look, his combination with Safaloy so far this year, as I said at the top of the call, is arguably they're the 9-10, they're the form 9-10 in the competition, and he'll be after 3 today. And they've got a wonderful backup young 9 who played Reggie's today, in Isaac Tarabo. So we're well served at halfback.
Now Sifaloy hunts for it, and he gets it. Brothers extend their lead 36 points to 20 against the University of Queensland here in the 63rd minute of play. They're pulling away now more than 2 converted tries. It's not 100% gone from Uni, but they're going to have to start making some pretty big moves pretty quick.
I mean, the one thing you'd never do is write Uni off being able to play and score a few quick tries, but the ebb is starting to go Brothers' way, so we really need an immediate reaction, I would say.
Dalglish high and short, and that's going to be knocked forward by UQ, and now Partridge.
Now is when you need some really great discipline in D from Uni.
Advantage for knock on over.
Sifaloy goes back, kicks to the right-hand side, sees some clear space.
He's got a wonderful ability of finding turf, doesn't he?
I believe that was Duran Wyatt who made the kick back there. Another substitution for UQ. And it looks like Liam Usher is on the field now.
When it happens that quickly.
Yeah, for Brothers, I think they've dropped Gareth Ryan from Tighthead, I believe.
Accidental penalty.
And I think that's been one of the differences in the game, the kick and kick chase from both teams. Brothers seem to be getting the chase and putting a lot more pressure on Uni, whereas Uni are kicking without as much of a chase.
Let's go. Let's go, Melcy. Same scrum.
It also looks like James Wood in the number 21 jersey is taking the field for UQ. UQ some 6 or 7 minutes still remaining before they're back to
Crouch.
full complement.
Bind.
So Brothers have just shifted skipper Maloney to Tighthead, and young Liam Usher, who's just come back from the Oceania 20s tournament as well, has gone to loosehead.
Now, Oh, and the pass goes to nobody, and I think it's going to be knocked forward by Josh Hill. The wheels are starting to get wobbly, and Brothers are finding another gear. It looks like Jerry Skelton has come to the field too in jersey number 20. One of 23 Skeltons that exist.
24.
24.
And I think Henry Fitzgerald there on the bench has come off the field after a good 60-minute shift.
It's a good time to be part of the Brothers Club, dominating in the Dowdy Shield, which is the cumulative points of all teams playing, and also top of the table for Premier Grade. It's having your cake and eating it too. Great scrum from Brothers, but it's out Wall. They go to the left. They're going to keep moving. Here's the danger man, Ralston. Ralston still going. Now to the right. Wall sends it out. Fezler gets hit hard by Korchik. Saifulloy eventually gets the ball out and free. They're moving away. Good line from Hine. Wall looks back to the right-hand side. Real estate for days. Ducking back in is Partridge, who loses the ball forward.
Unlucky there, but both the Brothers wingers, Byron Ralston and George Partridge, they should be buying Seb Wildman some Christmas presents, because he is just putting them in space, doing a great job of holding the defender and then shifting to the space.
Yeah, Uni just getting caught one short there on the edge, making a lot of easy meters down the sideline. Some last gasp defence that's saved them from a try there.
The Brothers looking the goods this afternoon, up 36 points to 20 here in the 67th minute of play for our Hospital Challenge Cup match of the round here at Crosby Park. Brought to you by Newstead Brewing Company.
Uni will want a nice quick hook here and get this ball out.
17, angle.
Only going against Liam Usher.
And as usual, loose head, pleading his
He's not happy about that one.
pleading his innocence.
One of the nicest blokes you'll find, young Usher, but not agreeing with Jordan Way on that occasion.
Oh, and that's a coach killer. Didn't find touch after a golden opportunity presented themselves. Now on the left-hand side, Wildman takes it up this time himself. To the right, there's a good line from Usher.
Right here,
Gets
Korchik.
hit hard too. Korchik putting on a masterclass for hits. Mellor sandbags him and gets the ball back. Great 1-2 hands. Here goes Van Eden. Van Eden throws in the right foot kick. It'll roll down. Players are running on. And they drag him out. It's a great follow-up from Van Eden.
How good has Adam Korchik been today around the park for UQ? If the result doesn't go their way, he's one that can really hold his head high here. It's been outstanding.
Yeah, lovely little touch there from Yoss down the sideline.
I think Sam Hine got in a bit of trouble there once again, not allowing the man to have the ball. I think it's the mustache, the power of the stash.
Well groomed too.
Yeah.
Hine had a year off, come back through reserve grade this year, and has now got his opportunity in Prem grade, which is great.
Mellor. Wasted opportunity. And now Brothers back on the attack. Rhys Martin will take that hit up.
That's always a risk with bringing reserves and replacements on. The continuity and set piece and things tends to fall off a little bit.
And there's Hill, who takes the ball up after it was stolen back. Van Eden gives the offload. Good line from McCall. Now, Uni on the left. Dalglish gets hit hard by Skelton. Siakasini wrapped up by his opposite, James. And it'll stop there. But Brothers comfortably in control of this match. 36 points to 20.
You can see both sides are fatigued. Certainly some of the contact zone, the sting's gone out of it. But Brothers can't afford to limp to the line here. Uni are one try away from really making this a real contest this last 11 minutes.
Liam Ush there looking to get some feedback from referee Jordan Way. A very strong performance from our current competition leaders, Brothers. UQ back to full complement now. 15 on 15, 10 minutes to play. 16 points the difference.
And they've just added young Matt Engelbrett, who went around the Colts field today to the blind side Uni.
Good scrum. Wallace goes from the back. It's his first trot from the back of a scrum. Good running through the middle from McCormick. Now they're going to keep moving on the right-hand side, and Mellor has a run. Now they move. Wallace. Uni knocking on the door for the first time in this second half. Dalgleish tries to size up the opponents to get a bit of space, but he can't. Now Sia Cassini.
There's a bit more urgency here shown from UQ.
Eden goes left. Mellor. Sam, that is.
Backwards.
Backwards was the call. Here's Wallace. Throws off Usher. Now to the right. Van Eden. Korchik. Feeds it to Engelbrecht, who spills it forward. So great defensive pressure from Brothers. Forces the turnover.
Yeah, terrific line speed there from Brothers. They actually weren't getting up off the line for much of that set, I thought. But on that occasion, just putting pressure on the young fella who's just come on the field.
Yeah, University just need a little bit more communication there between their runners. Obviously, Jimmy Dalgleish and TJ seem to be every now and then not getting right their lines, and then the little tip pass there just went to nobody and lined up his outside man for a big hit and cough it up. So Uni turned the scrum around and actually had a decent scrum their last one. Got a bit of a nudge on. We'll see whether they can keep that intensity up for this scrum now. They're on the defence.
Well, we have a moment here. Let's talk about the matchups coming up after this week. Brothers will be over at the Glue Factory, Yoku Road, hosted by last year's premiers and Australian Cup champions Jeeps. Western South will be duelling out East and Sunnybank, which will be our match of the round next week. And Bond will be taking on North, so UQ get their bye next week. And they can get up today. They'd go into it with a bit of wind in the sails, but as it stands, it's going to be a pretty solemn bye if they can't muster up at least 16-plus points today.
And what a belter next week, Brothers and Jeeps. Top of the table in all likelihood.
Jordan thinking about the whistle there, but let the scrum go. Obviously a good intent from Uni there, but we've got to keep the scrum down. People need to stay down rather than standing up, otherwise it just both sides come up.
Now Mellor, last line out. Wasn't as clean as it could be, and Korchik worked really hard there, gets the ball back, and Wallace will eventually clean it up and get it through to the backs. Sia Cassini now. Now to the right. Dalgleish. Ducks and weaves. They go to the right-hand side, and Sam Dalgleish gets hammered. Now Sia Cassini. Sia Cassini. There's a good line, but he gives it right into the hands of Bradford Kappa, who recoils and goes hard at Dalgleish and then gets a wonderful pop-off to his teammate. Now Brothers looking to the left in the setting sun. There's a good line from Hine. Juggles and holds on. Gets the pop off. It's good. They're going to keep going. Nielsen to Wall. Wall off the deck. Gives it to James. Now they're going to the right. Perez is taking it up. Wall. It'll bounce. It'll keep going. Wileman. Wileman gets it in the corner. The man who generously set up so many has finally given himself one.
Yeah, I think no one would begrudge him that one. Just wonderful. A bit messy, but just wonderful continuity I think Ruben Wall supporting on he runs a great support line. He scores a lot of tries in support under the sticks. Not today, he's been sniping around the ruck, but Seb Wildman, a well overdue try.
And Brothers, they're pulling away now, 41 points to 20. Bonus point in hand. And the gap is getting pretty wide now. 3 converted tries with a conversion to come. It wasn't the cleanest set of passing, but Nielsen gives a good offload there, and I think he saw a bit of exhaustion there for Clifton Sedu.
Yeah, there's a bit of an escort into the corner there from the UNT.
And now, on Saifaloy, hunting for the extras. Saifaloy.
Going to Jonathan Thurston on that one.
Well, I think he definitely hit the shaft of the club. But we see it here. It's just good basic skills from Brothers. Noah Nielsen just gives the nice, easy, simple pass. And I guess that's the lesson for all the young kids watching out there, that, you know, your coach might preach and preach about just through the hands, keep it simple, but they're the rewards it can give.
Absolutely. Yeah, Matty Fessler did a good job there of holding up that last pass. And
yeah, just run straight, fix the defender, give it to the outside man.
Jerry Skelton.
Dustin Hennigan on for Brothers will replace skipper Tom Maloney at tight head prop. A wonderful exit by Paddy James.
I think that's been a big difference today as well. It's just the kicking game. I think Brothers have really made the most of the kicking game and taking that territory much more opportunistic than what Uni have, and a little bit more intent with their chase line as well.
Mellor throws it in. Korchik once again takes it up the top. Sia Cassini in the middle. Swarmed by Butcher's stripes, and the ball gets stripped in the process. James offloads it. Wileman bumps off his counter Hill, and he'll fall just short of the 22. Wall has had a tremendous game. Rallies in quick. And Skelton's making his presence felt. They move it back to the right-hand side. Hill's over the top, looking for it, but wasn't meant to be. Wall wasn't entirely clean or sure what happened, but Sam Mellor's come up with the goods, and now it'll be in the hands of Tora Mo. Now James Dalglish. All too familiar, that kick, not finding the exit. Now Partridge sprints in, full mast.
Big wind up.
And that'll be knocked on in the process by Morrison. Brothers closing in. Just over 3 minutes remaining. James spices it up, throws it onto the right-hand boot. Ralston goes through. And Brothers, I think they can comfortably say they've got the win, and I think they're just starting to dip into the tie-head creativity basket to see what they can find.
Yeah, I don't know if that one would have come through at the 3rd minute, but Cordy's gone a bit quiet, but I'll help you out here, Marty.
Was there a rugby game on?
Look, yeah, it's this second half's been scoreless for Uni, so Brothers have responded well, 19-0 second half, and there's some tired bodies out there, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's just been one-way traffic all second half, really, and Brothers have been very good and very relentless in attack.
I think we've seen a lot of value too from the substitution on Brothers' side. You know, the Jerry Skeltons that have come on. We've seen the front row replacements. They're keeping the momentum going forward. In some ways, you could maybe argue that the Uni players didn't have the same effect.
Yeah, mate, you're spot on. I mean, you said it before in the call. Jerry Skelton's come on and really made his presence felt, the contact zone. I think Coach Rod Saib has almost fully unloaded his bench here. I can see young Isaac Tarabay going to get a couple of minutes here and replace Ruben Wall, who's had a tremendous game as Tarabay takes the field. And Wall, he'll get a nice ovation from the faithful.
Tarabay's about half an inch taller than Wall.
Yeah, he's got under 14s tomorrow as well, Tarabo. He's a small fella, but he's very gifted. He's a product of the Churchy School.
Got a big heart.
Big heart. Colts captain last year down here at Brothers and reserve grade halfback at the moment.
And the line out. Oh, it wasn't terribly keen from Brothers, but somehow Liam Mush has come up with the ball underneath. Now Tarabay fires it across the park, and eventually James keeps setting it. Here we go, good through the hands. Running away, Hine gets the ball to Ralston. Ralston goes toe-to-toe with his opposite, but loses the ball in the process. Uni now in possession. Sia Cassini just running out of steam. The big engine has been working hard for 78.5 minutes.
And I think that's been the story of the second half as well. Like a lot of the starters for Uni that were doing well in the first half have just tired. Brothers have come on with their substitutions and really injected some energy into it. And, other than a couple of the subs like James Wood for Uni, who's shown a little bit of flair and impact.
Well, Adam Korchak still put his shots on after 79 minutes.
He's relentless, isn't he? They got another one in here, Brothers, I reckon.
They'll hunt it down. Now they look to the left. A bit of a high pass from Tarabay, but his man's okay. Going to look once more to the left. Wildman now.
How good's he been in the second half, in particular, Seb Wildman?
Back to the right they go. Brothers hunting. One more before full time, and James pirouettes around one defender. Very tired, place back. Now they look to the right. Oh, Wildman had the opportunity there, but Partridge just wasn't in the right position. Now to the left.
You just
Martin.
Noticing in the D line too, where Uni are just going sideways first, so they're not getting off the line early and just giving Brothers that couple of extra seconds to build up ahead of steam and get over the gain line.
It's the final 10 seconds of play by our clock up here. And Brothers, a comprehensive victory. Can they finish it off with one more try? They're looking. Kappa. Brothers, they're not content with 41. They want to get it up once more. Nielsen from the back, punting for the post. Tarabay! It's
over.
The Brothers halfback special. It's the third one. Ruben Wall will be spewing that he missed out on that one. Easy as they come for a halfback.
He's stolen it off Ruben. That's awesome for young Isaac Tarabay. Yeah, they might be doing some pick and go and ruck defence over at Uni during the week, but the halfbacks have had a field day, and they had that one more in them. I didn't expect it to come that way, but a nice cherry on top there for Brothers.
It was definitely a tale of two halves, gents. First half, neck and neck. We were seeing both teams going tit for tat, but then Brothers just came out of the sheds. They wanted it more. They had more legs, and they just went the distance.
Yeah, impressive second half. That'll be 24, maybe 26 points once it's all said and done. And, yeah, really didn't give UQ a look in. I thought Seb Wildman in that second half was outstanding, and he appeared to do it in second gear. Very nonchalant with the way he does some things sometimes. But they just couldn't put up a fight, UQ. I think the effort was there, but as Cordy just said, sort of a lot of sideways movement off the line, not getting up off the line late in the game.
And it comes down to a full team performance, too. I think second half especially. It's all good to start a game. We're fired up with a lot of intent, but you've got to keep it going for 80 minutes.
Absolutely. I think the Brothers Clubhouse might be, they might put up the full house sign tonight. It'll be pumping.
And the final act of the first half is Zyphaloy getting another conversion, and Brothers will remain at the top of the competition ladder. An impressive victory, 48 points to 20. Gentlemen, let's talk about the players who you really like today out on the field.
Well, from Brothers, as I said just before, Seb Wildman was excellent in that second half. He really has plenty of time when he's got the ball, and his wingers have been the beneficiaries all year. I thought the inexperienced back row that took the field early in the game, Noah Nielsen in particular, was very tough and uncompromising up the middle. We talk about just going back to the old school, hard running, ball carrying style of rugby, and that's what they did. And of course, the halfback Ruben Wall was sensational. Yeah,
the standouts for Uni, obviously Adam Korsic was everywhere all day. TJ Siakasini, was his typical self steamrolling through the middle. And I thought Jos Van Eden controlled well at the base of the ruck when he had the ball and made a few nice breaks. Jimmy Dalglish probably wasn't as effective kicking out of hand as he normally would today. But they were probably the main ones trying to fly the flag for Uni and keep everyone going.
Well, as it goes now, Brothers still remain undefeated. They are 6 from 6 after 7 rounds. And Uni, they've just ducked under that 50-50 mark. They're now 4 losses and 3 wins. And it's been a massive afternoon here at Crosby Park. Massive results, I believe, all around the grounds. And we're going to quickly have a look at those as most of the games have wrapped up in QPR. Let's have a look at how it all played out with our results. And we'll see a narrow win there. Jeeps to Sunnybank, but holy guacamole, Norths 47-13 over the Tigers.
That is a pantsing.
That is an absolute pantsing.
Well done to Northside. Said at half time that might be a bit of a surprise, but they've dead set going on with it, haven't they?
They're the Kingslayers.
Absolutely.
They're taking names, and tight match between Bond and West down the M1. 27 plays 33. So I guess one thing we can say for sure in this season so far, Jeeps and Brothers are doing pretty well at the top, but the other 7 teams, it's anyone's game.
Yeah, you can throw up any result really week to week, and you get the top of the table next week. Brothers versus Jeeps. They'll be standing room only, I'm sure, out at Yoku next Saturday afternoon for that game.
Well, gentlemen, Ben, Tom, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. What a wonderful stream it has been.
Appreciate it.
Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks, Gordy.
Well, guys, it is full time, and thank you so much for joining us. As always, keep your eyes tuned on the social media accounts for Queensland Premier Rugby and Reds during the week for all of your fantastic content that we know you love to watch. It's been an absolute pleasure. We're going to be back same time, same place next week. My name's Martin Lippiatt. Thank you and good evening.